Hello and welcome to Zeta Chivalry 2 Survival Runs. This map is Coxwell and I'm playing with my bare hands. This is probably by far the hardest experience because you have no weapon, and the biggest issue that you cannot block, because all weapons go through the block except if you would find somebody else who would prefer bare hands instead of his weapons. So without further ado, let's comment the run itself. As you saw, I would try to have a go at the axeman who was red, so actually it helps if you pick up an opponent that is already damaged, because that means that you would need less hits to deliver for your opponent. But unfortunately I couldn't deliver the fatal blow to that running away axeman. So there you go. I mean, the problem is that with fists also the range is quite bad. So you have to go in the pickle but also quickly get out, or use jabs quite often and successfully. But in case you are 2 against 1 against opponent, often teammates would give active parry for the enemy, and your hit of course wouldn't go unnoticed by the enemy, and instead you would receive full brunt of his weapons instead. So yeah, that's the problem. Now again, it's safest to actually hit somebody from behind, so try to use a movement and exploit that enemy is defending. So yeah, go behind the enemy and try to hit them where it hurts. Because in straight up fight, probably anyone with two-handed weapons, especially quick two-handed weapons. Now this enemy was quite just unlucky that he fell down and he had only half HP, so I quickly dispatched him. Not a big issue, but again he did not have time to react, so that's not a show of my skills, just of how bad his luck was. So yeah, the charging attack is a bit, you need to get used to the range with the fists. But other than that, what I try to do is try to engage the enemy together with my teammates. You know, again, be an interesting distraction. Now I saw that somebody is following me, so I decided again to rotate back and go up again. I see on the left side there are 2 enemies attacking one friendly, and they don't see me, so I can easily engage, dispatch the one and damage the other. And with actually Q, it's delivers a lot of damage. I delivered a lot of hits and the kill was still taken by the friendly. So anyway, I think I delivered around maybe more than half of enemy HP. And now also interesting moment to see, I go back because I know that once the enemy uses active parry and riposte and tries to hit, then that's a problem for me because I cannot get in range quickly enough. And also my block is automatically blocked by the active parry. So yeah, but I found the timing and was able to deliver a fatal blow to the enemy. Now this is again just a different way of playing the game. It's like you have to poke and usually go away, especially if enemy tries to block and you know, counter the hits. Because they can counter your hits, but you can't counter theirs, so that's the problem. It's like playing without block, actually. Somebody has to do a run without block. This is what it is. So you cannot block. I mean, you can technically, but it delivers actually 0 value to you, except it wastes its time and stops your momentum. That's it. Nothing else. So you shouldn't block when you do unarmed. You should jab, yes, kick, maybe, but also use especially Q, because only actually Q would stop enemies' attack. So it's similar to cutters in that regard, that all other hits except Q would, you know, would not stop the enemy attack. Yeah, so Q is very important. And again, if there's somebody charging with a really, you know, long reach weapon, it's absolutely very important to just go away. But again, I delivered a lot of damage to the enemy even though I'm unarmed. Just trying, I mean, when it tries to jab, it uses a bitch slap, I think. Again, I tried the charging attack, enemy blocked, and I had to rotate back. There's an enemy here, and he wants to kill the friendly. I was able to kill the enemy and also pick up my friendly. So yeah, things happen, quite interesting moment. And it's not like his weapon had lower reach than mine. No, that's not the case. He just wanted to really do a kill secure, so just to kill a downed enemy, and that's it. And I didn't allow it. Now when enemy is engaged in a fight, it's best to actually use charging attack on him with your fists. Because the reach is better than usual hit with a Q from standing position. At least that's what I feel. Because you also are charging and covering more distance. Only because of this. And yeah, if you want to hit several opponents with one hit, I'm not sure if that's possible. Just to sheer limitation, but also your overall vulnerability. So you have no block. I see here also quite a lot of enemies. Let's see if I can help it. I was really looking for a mortal blow, the last hit, but couldn't land it on that enemy, but did on this one. So yeah, still works pretty well if you hit from behind, especially if enemy is preoccupied in fighting other folks. So that's the best time to move around and hit folks. In straight up fight, duel against normal weapon, it probably would be okay against a single-handed weapon and weapons with short reach. But if you mistime your jab or your hit is blocked by the enemy, then you're in big trouble. So that's why it's best not to try to duel when you have... actually, it's not very good to do duels at all if you're doing survival runs. If you see the enemy has upper hand, just run away and hit him from a much better position. Now here's another example of why sometimes charging attack fails, is that you hit friendlies. They stop the hit from moving through, to the enemy. So then you're left, without block and just up there receiving damage. So the way you can escape from such locations and such positions is that you have to dash back and then hide behind your friendlies. And hopefully, if enemy is not very good at not targeting you specifically, then it is possible to swipe. Again, this is not a straight-cut solution to every problem, but it helps if you, understand when the duel or the fight is not in your favor and just retreat. This is extremely illustrative when playing with no weapons. Yeah, I saw the enemy ran away through there. He could have actually killed me because I had no momentum once I started turning back. But I think there was a counter on his mind. So yeah, he decided to retreat back. Again, I see the enemy there, and he's already dead. Could not land my Q, this charging attack, because friendly was just too close to him, and I delivered a hit on a friendly instead. So this is an issue. Again, reach is quite abysmal, but charging attack has still better reach than all other attacks. So yeah, not very easy to play with like this. And if usually my normal weapons, my kills per minute would be around 3. So in this case it's much lower. And that is expected because this weapon not only, it's not a weapon, even not a weapon. And I see that enemies are charging from left side, and I have to go back and hide behind friendlies because I have no way to deal with the charging attack. No way at all. For example, then the halberdier could have charged me for over 100 damage, and I could not do a thing. And then the follower strike would be, so maybe I could jab it, but that's about it. But if I'm unlucky and he blocks the jab, that's it, I'm done for. So if you see charging enemies, just run away. That's the easiest way to avoid such situation. So yeah, by the way, so you saw that special attack does stagger opponent somewhat. So that's good. Use that to your advantage, because even if it blocks, it will be still staggered. Now here I try something not smart, but I want to go behind in tight spaces against enemies who actually have normal weapons, and I'm blocked by friendlies. So this is extremely precarious situation, and you should not do that. It was just stupid of me. I thought there was one enemy, but there were actually 2, and one was swinging, and I think the third joined too. So yeah, the very not well thought of decision to go behind backs, because that was not the way to do things. Now this enemy tried to stab me, but he did receive a punch in the face, and he retreated. Again, I'm not pursuing my advantage, because it's best if I attack unarmed from, like a surprise, like from ambush position. That's the best way it works. For some reason, even as unarmed, I'm around the middle of the scoreboard for my team. So that just tells you probably how much worse the guys are at the bottom half of the map of the scoreboard. Or they just joined. Again, no judgment, it's fine. I have a lot of hours on Chivalry, over 1,000 I think, on Chivalry 2, yeah. So yeah, that's a lot. And that's why I can do things like this, shenanigans. Go around unarmed. But again, timing is very important, and also even can hand hit some hits from behind too, because again, those swings are not very easy to land, and also the range is quite abysmal, as I already stated. So the most sure way is to attack with special attack, stagger opponent, but okay, but the second hit I think did not land. Again, go behind, and the enemy is already dispatched off. So that's still good. I mean, I've got an assist, so that's, I think, probably the best thing that could have happened, because I could have received damage. I see now that somebody is also hitting me with a halberd. So again, all those small things you have to think about, and once you receive damage, try to replenish it as much as you can, because few stray arrows would you know, put you in the coffin or in a spawn point. Again, here enemies blocking well, not only friendly's hits but also mine. I need to somewhere to escape, and there was friendly blocking the way too. So I was lucky to jump over the halberd's hit when it slashed, but then my luck quickly ran out when I was around had around 20% health left. So I decided to move away, and again there was friendly blocking. That's the shortcomings of all short-range weapons, and including unarmed runs, is that the range is so abysmal that you have to be in your face with the opponent. And that means that you quite often be blocked in by friendlies. Now an easy revive, additional points. Probably a person is surprised that somebody actually does revive people. Yeah, but that's okay. I have not much to do at the moment because I'm waiting until the ramps are up, and because otherwise I can't proceed forward. So these are the limitations. Unfortunately, I could not revive this person. Why I'm running alongside the wall is because that way I can also keep enemy archers at bay. Yes, a nice takedown. Unfortunately not a kill, but what can you do? Also assisted the friendly and revived 2 teammates. So yeah, a lot of 3 points. Still very good. I decided to go up the ramp to have a look at what's happening. I see too many enemies actually there, so decided that's not worth the risk. Maybe let's try the other side, because the middle is fine, but again it's very tight spaces. I probably won't be able to escape, but yeah. So my 2 attacks worked fine, and now I see that somebody wants to, you know, the guy with a war axe wanted to go after me, but he was stopped by friendlies, so that's also good. My Q did not land, and the reason is active parry again, although it looked like I hit him on the side. And now a guy with a Morning Star. Morning Stars are okay, they're not great weapons, but they're okay. Probably slightly worse than the maces. So I'm pretty know that his range, even though it looks like it's a weapon, the range is quite awful. So yeah, you see, by running around and then just bidding your time for that one fatal blow, you can deliver a kill on the enemy. And that's what I did. Now this time I was lucky to land my hit past the active parry. Now I'm not sure what this enemy is doing. Or he came in to give me a free kill. So I take that. Now I'm slightly above the middle of the scoreboard. And that's impressive on its own, but again, you know, I usually, you know, have a solid top 3. It doesn't matter which weapon I play with, except for unarmed runs or some really trash tier weapons like cutters or glaive. So yeah, so far still the left side is heavily contested by the enemy, so I cannot go there. I have to find a safe location so I can still engage the enemy, but also be able to run away if you know, situation goes south. So far there are also quite a lot of peasants spawning now, so that means they're a bit easier to kill and I can rack additional kills. But that's easier said than done, because if you do not have weapons, the peasants do have a weapon. So yeah, and they do usually come in you know, a big blob. So still a bit hard to do that. Also, I again don't want to risk it because that's already the ultimate objective. So delivered really nice 80 damage, that's around a half for the enemy knight, and then also delivered damage, 40 damage, so that's more than half to 2 of the peasants, and yet no kills. So I try my best, I deliver a lot of damage, well, comparatively, but still did not receive many kills. That's okay. I mean, the highest I did, recorded survival run, I think around 16. It is in my channel too. But usually for unarmed rounds it's a bit different. If you do over 10, that's already good. The map has ended. I scored 13 kills and enjoyed the game. I hope you did too. Thank you for watching. See you next time.